All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Pixel Profiles, Episode 7 with Mr. Royce Plays. Nope, sorry. Force of Habit. Force of Habit. No longer Royce Plays. The Mind. The Mind of Royce. Hello, Royce. How we doing today?
Excellent, sir. How about yourself?
I am fantastic, thank you. Uh, for those of you that don't know, Royce and I have known each other for long time. What is it,
Yeah,
6 years now, something like that.
no, probably closer to 7. I mean, we went to TwitchCon in 2017, so
Oh my
six
god, that's
years. 6 years
true. Holy.
just from TwitchCon.
Yeah, and
So,
we were playing games for a good year and a half
so
before then.
yeah, closer to 8.
Yeah. Wow. Time flies, man.
Hey, no kidding.
God, how old's your youngest?
15.
Jesus. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
elementary school when we met each other.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, probably first or second grade.
Youths.
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah. Now he's a sophomore in high school.
it's been pretty cool watching them grow up. I'm not gonna lie. I am grateful for Facebook because like I love to live vicariously through my friends on Facebook.
Yeah, he's
That
Well, and he's
sounds
such a
sad.
unique case to begin with, but like, no, oh no, don't. Hey, that's how I basically stay in contact with my nieces and nephews who
Yeah,
are older teenagers because they live hours away, and still love Uncle Royce, but like they're teenagers. Let's face it.
yeah, yeah. No, my niece. I only have one niece. She lives up in North Carolina, so like the only time I ever get to see her is whenever we go do family stuff. Um, but like the fact she's a senior. She's a senior in high school, Royce.
Wow.
It's wild, absolutely insane. And she's like so cool, so she doesn't like friend me on Facebook or anything like that. But she has me on Snapchat, so we can still talk. But she doesn't have to say like, "Yeah, I'm friends with my uncle on Facebook."
I stay away from Snapchat.
Yeah,
That's right. I've
I
become too old at that point.
yeah, I typically don't use um stuff like that whenever I don't really need to, but like
Oh
with
yeah, I
certain with
understand.
certain people, there's certain people that just like that's the only way they would communicate with anybody. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the only way I talk to certain people.
It's the only reason I have Facebook still, to be honest.
Yeah, Facebook is my photo repository.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, this Facebook does bad things though, right? Like, so obviously, I that's the reason I started Twitch was when my dad passed.
Mhm.
Uh, and you do those things where you think everybody should know. So you put it up that, oh, if you've known da 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 da, unfortunately he's now passed away, da da da. But they remind you every year after that.
Yeah. I am not looking forward
Like
to that next
like
year.
I wish they could put that option into can I turn off this reminder? Like it was great awesome work for getting a lot of people to know what happened, what went down, but I don't want to see it ever again.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like one of those things.
Oh yeah. All right. So this is an interview. For those of you that may be new to Pixel Profiles, this is basically a brand new segment for the channel. This is season 1, season 10, or episode 10 will be the end of the first season. Going to take a month or two off to see if I can line up some more guests. We already do have a guest lined up for next season. The architect from the RPG engine. We're going to have more of a technical talk about like game development and stuff like that. But um, this being an interview segment, I've asked basically everybody the exact same thing. So I'm going to go ahead and ask you, what got you into streaming? What brought you to Twitch?
Let's see what brought me to Twitch. Originally, what brought me to Twitch would have been that I started playing WoW again. And the guild that I found, uh, the guild owner, I believe, was streaming on Twitch, and I got to know him real well. We became friends. Like, I did my first extra life that way,
Mm-hmm.
before I streamed, and then once I found Twitch, I started, you just do what you do when you find Twitch. You start bouncing around, looking, and da 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 da. And back then they had what was called a social eating channel,
Yep.
and that's where cooking streamers were. And I found a particular cooking streamer who I quickly became a moderator for, quickly became friends with. He's like, dude, you can cook. I'm like, yeah, I can cook. We started cooking together on stream, and then I started streaming. We were probably doing some of the first, like, across America co-streams on Twitch, and most people just probably didn't know it. Uh, we had, as far as like we figured out the technology to do uh, his camera on my stream, my camera on his stream, and we started cooking streaming together. And I did that for probably almost a year before I switched to games.
Yeah. You started out as Royce Cooks, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yup.
Yep. And I think yeah, that's right. That's when I met you is when you were still Royce Cooks.
Yeah.
Yep. Um, so we do have something from chat real quick. Your audio is or my audio is coming through your mic. Just thought I'd let you know.
See if that's any better.
Testing, testing. Yeah, that's perfect. Nice.
All right. Yeah. It's because I'm deaf and I have to turn people up.
Ah, yes, of course. I know the feeling, which is why I love earbuds. The insides of my ears don't like earbuds. Like the chafing is insane, but like
Well, my headset just has the ability to get that loud that it'll catch the mic on the headset.
I'm somewhat envious, I won't lie. Okay, so what kind of spurred the switch over from cooking to gaming? Was it just like you found yourself just gaming more on stream and you just like moved? Was it like a gradual transition or was it like a switch immediately over?
No, so basically it was I had, a basic computer at that time. And I wanted to actually run more cameras, and the computer itself couldn't do it. So the wife was nice enough and bought me this wonderful like MSI gaming laptop, which at the time made sense to use it in the kitchen and everything. And we I wanted to do the by that time around the next Extra Life that came around, and I wanted to do the Extra Life event. So 24 hours cooking, though I tried it at one time during my cooking career and I got to 18 hours, I wasn't going to try it again. So
that's that's a long ass time to cook. God damn.
I got 18 hours in the kitchen straight, and I've done. Um, and I just had a bunch of different games lined up. It was going to be for fun. Nothing, like I think I set a goal like $500 or something, just to do it. And we did it, and I had a bunch of other streamers come through and help. I had my first moderators come through. It's the first time that I played Ark was on that stream.
Mm-hmm.
We had such a blast with the community that I actually shut the stream down and moved everything back into the kitchen. And even after the 24 hours, like everybody that had basically played games with me or been moderating, we all whipped up cocktails and had cocktails. I made breakfast on stream. And after that, it was something that I was like, oh, I could do this. I could do this. But I kept cooking. And, well, back then, cooking streamers were still expected just as much as gaming streamers to, like, stream at least 4 hours.
Yeah.
And 4 hours got later and later and later. Well, as you know, I have children. my children didn't need to be going to school trying to eat dinner at 9 o'clock at night. So it was like, well, if you want to continue streaming, you're gonna have to change it up somehow. So I decided to drop the cooking and just go to gaming. Uh, and that's basically how I became a gaming streamer. And the fact that I had fallen in love with Ark so much, it made it easy
Yeah.
to just start playing Ark.
That is a very, very easy game to fall in love with. Especially if you're like not even okay, so I know a lot of people like their big obsession with Ark is like the fact that hey, you can tame dinosaurs and it's like it's really cool. But like something that I feel like a lot of people do ignore when they're talking about Ark is like the creative building aspect of it. It's like that is purely a the only limitation is your time and patience in what you can build
Absolutely.
an Ark.
Oh, absolutely. And for me, it was more the community aspect of it. Like anybody
Yeah.
who knows kind of like my gameplay style is I don't like playing games alone.
Yeah.
Like I play games for community. I play games to be with my friends. Uh, if I wanted to be alone, I'd go read a book. Which there's nothing wrong with that. But if I'm playing video games, I want to play with friends. And Ark provides that really well because no, do Zach and I have to be in the same tribe? Nope. But we're playing on the same server, so we can talk, and I
Yep.
can say, "Hey Zach, I'm gonna go around this cave. You want to come with me?" Like it just
Yep.
we can do those types of things in that game. And I
Or
understand there's a lot of other games like that, but like you can do that. You know?
one of my favorite things you've done when we were on different tribes is just like randomly dropping tech parasaurs in my base. It's like,
Yeah.
I get on
You
the
just
server and there's like 20 tech parasaurs just running around my base.
I thought he needed pretty lights.
I do need pretty lights. Okay, that's one thing my streaming setup is missing, other than a functional back wall, is some RGB, some nice lighting,
So that's
which
what
is in the mail.
we're we're doing a bunch of remodeling and changing around to the house and
Mm-hmm.
all that kind of stuff. And I now am permanently working from home, which is a gift and a curse all at the same time.
Yeah.
I have teenagers. They have friends. They get loud. They get obnoxious. I get angry. So like she's like, uh, why don't we move you into our room? Like we have a big walk-in closet, and that's not a fully walk-in closet, but it's a deep closet, wide, and it makes a good spot for a one-off office.
Yeah. And if you are still gonna keep clothes in there, that's gonna be good for sound dampening.
Well, no, see, we've never used it for that. So
Oh,
like we
fair
don't
enough.
need, yeah, so it's just kind of there. So she's like, why don't we just move you in there? I'm like, well, okay, well then I want to go to, because I'm tired of kind of being on my ass all the time. We went to a standing desk. So that's why like I'm in the process of doing all that right now. And I told her, I said, you better get ready. There's going to be a late night where I'm playing Ark and we're all goofing off and I get really loud. You're not allowed to yell at me.
You were warned. You knew this was gonna happen. Then again, wifey is usually the one doing the warning.
Yeah, so
She
yeah, so
terrifies me, and I love her. Oh man. So how have you kind of balanced, fatherhood, husbandhood, and streaming? Because working a full time job, full time dad, full time husband, obviously, like, do you find it difficult to kind of balance all those things as well as maintaining a streaming schedule?
okay, so like oddly enough, I have let's see, me and the wife have been together, not married, but together for 20 plus years. We have survived uh me being deployed, where I haven't been able to talk to her for 6 months. We've been through an amazing amount of tragedies, unfortunately, in a short time in our life.
Mm-hmm.
We really, for the most part, only have each other to rely on as a true in-person trust basis. And I'm lucky enough to say that, you know, she's my wife, she's my best friend, but she also undyingly supports any craziness I get into. Anything. I could go tell her tomorrow that I want to be a pole dancer, and she would go thong shopping with me.
I
Like,
mean,
unquestionable,
hey,
right? Like,
kick exists
so
is all I'm saying.
true story. So when I want to take on something like this, and she thinks it's going to make me happy and everything, she'll do everything in her power to help support me. So yes, I work a full-time job. I have her support. My kids are luckily now teenagers, so needless to say, the need for me to be in their life 24/7 is not needed nor wanted. And when I want to be there for them for something, they just take priority over stream. And as a person who, and I think anybody in my community knows this, I've never shied away from being who I am on stream.
Very
Like,
true.
I've always been very open about my life. I've been open about my children, about personal situations. I've never hid any of that stuff from anything. I think when I say to my community, "Hey, I got to take the night off because I'm going to go to my daughter's broomball game," they get it. Or they're so curious. I want to know, can you stream it? Like, because they want to be part of it. So
Yeah.
that's awesome to me. Like that someone would even ask, and they're not being intrusive at that point. They're really actually interested in it.
Yeah.
Uh, so I mean, I've taken breaks. I've changed lanes. Like we had a full blown setup in the kitchen again to do cooking streams. The only thing my wife asked me was, please, this time around, can we not have cords everywhere? Can we please
Bluetooth
make it?
everything.
Well, no, no, not even that, but it's just like hide them or
Yeah.
just so, because a lot of it was put up, take down, and then I'd get lazy and not take down.
Yeah.
And she just wanted, so like if someone walked in the house, they just were like, "What the hell?" Now they were like, kind of, what the hell was to the 32-inch monitor over the uh, the sink. But I mean, a lot of people have TVs in their kitchen. It's not that big of a thing.
Yeah.
So we set that all up to go back to cooking. But then I got my new job, and they asked for volunteers to do something else, and I got volunteered, and so my hours don't work for it right now. Like
Yeah.
I don't get off work till 7, so cooking dinner after 7 o'clock is not an optional thing in our house. So it just gets put on hold. So what? Lovely enough, Arc decided to re-release itself.
Yep.
So I'm like, yeah, I'll be able to stream Arc a couple nights a weekend or a couple nights a week, and then on the weekends I'll be able to hit a cooking stream here or there. So you just kind of got to roll with the punches, and like, luckily I have a very good support system that allows me to do this stuff. And then at the end of the day, I love my community, but my personal life will always be first. And I don't have a problem saying that. Like, if I have to, if it's a night where I need to get out of the house, I need to go hang out with a buddy, drink a beer, smoke a cigar, and hang around a campfire, then that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. I
So,
mean, you can't like that's something that a lot of people I think kind of ignore whenever they start to like embark on streaming is like I have to maintain the schedule. I have to. And okay, consistency is important to a degree when you're streaming.
absolutely, yes.
Um
If you want to truly grow, you have to be consistent. I believe that 100%.
right, for sure. Um but there, and this is a big but, kind of like mine. Um it also takes a very hefty degree of luck. So
Agreed.
there's you can stream every day of your schedule, your posted schedule. You can stream every single day, and you could somebody could come in, you could get lucky, and you could get a massive raid. A bunch of people want to stick around. They like your channel. They follow you. They keep coming back. Yada yada. But if you're only streaming and maintaining that schedule for the hope and the prayer that that's going to happen, you're going to lose your personal social life. And that's
Absolutely.
something that really can't be overlooked for streaming, is like maintaining a social life outside of streaming, because you can have as many friends on the internet as you want, and that's a great thing. Knowing people all over the world is such a modern blessing that a lot of people kind of overlook. But we're social creatures. We need to interact in person, and you can't just live your life within four walls and expect to be happy and healthy.
No, absolutely. I mean, that's what I had a big conversation with my wife, and one of my main community members was like, this working from home is a super blessing and a super curse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can wear pajamas to work. I have the ability to freely take my kids back and forth from school. Like, if I have to, like my dog doesn't have to stay in a kennel half the day. There's a lot of benefits to it. But for example, I got stuck where I worked a month straight every day, at least 10 to 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
Paycheck, wonderful. Don't even blink at it. My sanity was full tilt by the end of that time, because it was wake up,
Grab brush,
shower,
put
do
on
your
a little
normal
makeup.
thing, uh, pop my butt down in the chair, and go to work. Well, where do I go when I'm not going out for relaxation? To my computer. So where am I still stuck at? In this chair.
Yep.
So it's and not just from like a mental standpoint. It's a health standpoint that you have to think about. Like, how often do you get up? How often, like, there's a lot of those things that you just kind of you forget about. You get in
Yeah.
tune with what you're doing, and you just do it. And because you're at home, you don't have the walking back from the car. You don't have the stopping at the grocery store. You don't have all of that stuff that you would normally do on your day to day.
Yep. And it's like, well, I've been working for freaking 12 hours. I don't really feel like going to the store right now. And it's like it's a vicious loop of, well, I really want to relax and play games, but I don't want to, shit where I eat, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. But how are you managing that all right? Like, are you finding the good balance with work and in streaming right now, or do you still find it difficult to, click the go live button or like open up a game after you're done working?
So the open up the game or just chatting with everybody in Discord, that's mainly never changed, and nor does it really bother me. As far as streaming goes, admittedly, for me, just because of timelines, I haven't really. I was waiting, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
a bunch of us were waiting for Arc, because like I'm not gonna get into anything else on stream because I have an additional channel that I deal with. I still want to do cooking as my main gig. Arc will just be a side thing, So I don't want to get into a bunch of variety games. I just want to stick with Arc. So it's like, wait, just wait, just wait. So for right now, for me, it's just, oh, Arc's finally getting in tuned. We'll start streaming that on a 2 or 3 night basis, and then we'll go from there. But I think a lot of that'll help because, one, I'll be able to, even though it's little, it's a psychology thing in your own head of, if I keep my standing desk in standing mode while I'm working and I change it to sit while I'm gaming or streaming, then it's a little just trigger in your head that it's a different, you're doing something different.
Yeah.
Whether it's in the same room or something else, you're doing something different. And it doesn't blend together and basically cause you to dislike everything.
Yep.
And that eventually what happens.
I actually know somebody that has their desk like set up kind of on like it. Well, their desk is on casters, right?
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
and all the wires are bundled in the back. So whenever they're done working from home, they literally just spin their desk around so they're looking at the other side of their room.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a really clever idea. Especially if you have like a completely different theme that you're looking at. So like let's say, you know, you're looking at like a office room or something in front of you and like you turn it around and then it's like boom, gamer stuff. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I thought that was a really clever idea and, you know, finding a way to delineate what you're doing in the same space and being able to like get into a different mind frame is really a really good way to try and strike that balance. But now when when we talk about like the community aspect of streaming, um what do you think is like the most important thing for maintaining a community? Do you think like it's kind of okay, let me kind of rephrase, let me repackage the question. Um what do you think is the most important thing to help maintain a community on Twitch? Do you think it's more heavily weighed towards the streamer, or do you think it's more heavily weighed towards the community? Or do you think it's kind of like a 50-50, or do you think it's like more weighed one way or the other?
See, for me, when I think of community on Twitch, I think of it just as a whole. I think the streamer's just wrapped into it.
Mm,
I think the streamer can help guide the direction of the streamer or the community, because obviously, like, if a lot of the time streamers end up with mostly like-minded people in their viewership, right? There might be some differences, but for the majority, you're either like-minded, you're from the same genre, you're maybe the same age group. There's something to all of it, right?
mm,
Like if you look at a lot of my mainstays in my community, we're all married, we all have kids, we're 9 to 5 kind of workers. Like that's kind of where everybody's at. And I think a lot of that is for each other. We all have mostly the same bitching complaints. We have the same, hey, has your kid done this? Or hey, do you know like when they're little, what's the best diaper? Like what's like, or when they're, oh, dude, you will not believe what my son thought he could say to me today. Like a lot of it, and for the most part, it's not games that we talk about, or it's not, it's real life. And for me, that's the community I've always wanted to build. I wanted to be everybody to be there for everybody. And though it's small, I think I have a community like that. Like when I can reach out to one of my community members and be like, "Hey, busy or not, you got a minute to help this other streamer out with like the same problem you fixed for me?" And they're like, "Yeah, no problem. Just give me 5 minutes."
uh,
That's how community works, like in real life,
yeah.
right? Like you ask a neighbor, "Hey, I've got this friend. Can you come help me do his brakes? Because I know you're doing better than I do." That's how real community works. And I felt like it's a group thing. Like I think the streamer probably still has to kind of have the idea of what he wants. Like you can, I mean, let's face it, there's streamers that want to toxic communities, right? Like they want full blown rage all the time. And I
Yeah.
respect that because you got to be a different person to be able to tolerate all that. So I think the streamer has the power to kind of guide it and form it into what they're looking for. but it takes the community to kind of like hold each other's hands to keep that, because the original people are going to be the ones that kind of saw the streamers vision, and they're going to be the ones that help the streamer mold that vision by keeping the people that the streamer or the community that's now seen the vision out of that community. So it's definitely, I think it's a hand in hand thing, but it's like, someone kind of, I gave you a paint by numbers and you took my suggestion and painted the numbers correctly.
Yeah, I think I hadn't actually considered like the streamer kind of laying out the blueprint for what they want the community to be, but like honestly, that's basically what I've seen, throughout a bunch of different communities that, I either do or used to belong to. Um, yeah, the viewers kind of end up mirroring what the streamer like says or does. So like that I think is actually a very apt assessment. Um,
Yeah, unfortunately, you see it more on the negative side than you do the positive side.
Very true. And you see that a lot, I think, on it's obviously it's going to be more pervasive with bigger streamers. But you'll see it a lot with people that like call a certain streamer out, and then another like some you see it more when people call somebody out for doing something wrong, and then the person that was doing the wrong thing, like sorry, my brain stopped. The person that was called out for doing the wrong thing basically kind of rallies up their community and like says, let's go fucking get them, or something like that. And I think like that's not it's unhealthy, I think, for that particular mentality. But with a bigger streamer, you're gonna be able to have that power to send your community off to do those bad things. So
Absolutely.
yeah, and you see it a lot with like doxing and swatting and stuff like that. Which fortunately, based on what I've seen, swatting has died down a lot over the years. I
But
remember.
yeah, it's definitely died down, and luckily now a lot more law enforcement departments know about it.
Right. Yeah.
So that
Um,
helps tremendously.
there was a um, there was a uh, attempted SWAT against one of my friends a few years ago, and well, a former friend, uh, but when he moved to the area, I say former, I don't talk to him anymore. We didn't have a blowout or anything like that. I just don't talk to him anymore. Um, when he moved to the area, which I think is over by Austin, Texas, he actually called his local police department, and because he was a pretty big streamer at the time, and he called them and said, "Hey, I this might happen. Just letting you know, it's happened before. Just want you guys to know so it doesn't happen again." And he ended up getting a call like a month later and said, "You were right. Like somebody tried to call it in on you." So yeah, I think with how popular live streaming has become, a lot of police officers are probably, you know, consumers of, live stream content, things like that. So they're probably aware of all of the bull crap that can happen, which is both good and bad, I think. You'll probably, well, them being aware of it is just a net good, obviously. But, you know, the more popular it is, in the end, the swatting is probably going to pick up again at some point once people
Probably.
realize that it's like, hey, this used to happen. Now that I mentioned it, we're going to hear a story about it. It's going to happen. I can feel it. Now that I've said it, it's my fault. Blame me, chat. Wait, don't blame me. I don't want to go to jail. Swatting is a criminal offense, for those of you that don't know. So don't do that. Anyway, uh, so you said that your main goal for your channel is to like focus on the cooking aspect of the stream, right?
Hmm.
What sort of, for those of you, for anybody that may be interested in coming to your stream, like what are kind of, are you like main focused on a certain type of cuisine, or are you kind of just gonna branch out and say, hey, this is what we're gonna try and cook today?
No, admittedly, like we just cook for real. Like if I'm cooking dinner, I'm gonna stream it. So it's whatever we're gonna have for dinner, or maybe I'm doing a barbecue over the weekend. So I'll do the full rundown, and it might be in a couple streams because obviously, if you know anything about barbecue, it takes
Oh
more
yeah.
than 4 hours. Uh, you show the step by steps or whatever. I'm not here to be instructional. I'm not here to be this is what you should eat for your diet, da 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 da. Like it's just real everyday cooking. Like if it's gonna be that the noodles come out of a box and I didn't make them by hand, then so be it. Like it's not the
Wait,
most people
doing
unfortunately
real
if
life
it,
stuff?
yeah, like not wasting food or it's I understand that there's a here and a now, and you got to be the flashy person or whatever the case may be. But like, I get so much more pleasure out of my kids telling me like, "Dad, dude, can we have that again?"
Yeah.
Like the one night that we actually streamed, we did the just because I was kind of like I kind of wanted to know were they just really this good, and I knew it wouldn't be a complete waste, but I wanted to try the whole Big Mac tacos. And damn it, if they weren't really freaking good. Like I did a trend, and oh my god, it was actually real.
Gonna have to try
Like
that.
I, I've sworn to 3 or 4 people that they are the best way to have Big Macs, and everyone has agreed with me to 110%. Like they truly like it works. It just works.
I'm gonna need you to send me the recipe. And
Okay, 30-second quick version. You get a taco sized tortilla.
mhm,
You spread a thin layer of hamburger on it, like you're making a hamburger patty, but thin.
right.
You put that on a griddle or in a pan. You cook it. I promise you do not have to flip it. It will cook all the way through. That's kind of how thin you gotta get it.
Okay.
You
So like smash burger thin?
yeah.
Okay.
So then you flip it one time. I put American cheese on it because well, it's a Big Mac. It's American cheese.
Right.
Shredded lettuce, some we use pickle relish just because we thought it would be easier. A little pickle relish, a little Big Mac sauce, and some lettuce. You're done. Done like that easy.
Interesting.
And if you got
I
like a
mean,
griddle, you can make a dozen of them at a time.
there's literally nothing on it that would tell me that it would be bad. So yeah, I mean
Yeah,
that
if you
just
like
sounds
a
like it
Big
would
Mac
work.
and you like tacos, then there should be no reason you don't like the Big Mac taco.
All right, I'm gonna
Now,
throw some Taco Bell fire sauce on that bitch.
now years ago when I originally was doing cooking streams, it was actually still on my Instagram. Uh, I don't remember what show it was. I'm trying to think. I think it was iCarly, maybe. Yeah, the children were big iCarly fans, and they did a
The
spaghetti taco.
children, right?
Yeah, definitely wasn't me. Uh, and they wanted a spaghetti taco because I guess like the show had done this, and it was like obviously the actors played it up as oh my god, the best thing ever.
Right.
And you made basically spaghetti and you put it in a hard shell taco and ate it that way. Carb on carb on carb.
Yep.
And ironically, it tasted well. Like I mean, I
Yeah.
wouldn't go out of my way to ever make it again, but like I was like, well, not horrible.
Now, while we're talking about stuff that You wouldn't think it would be good. Here's something I need everybody to try at home, okay? This was when I was in college and I had virtually zero money, right? In the fridge, we had peanut butter, because I like my peanut butter cold, and we had spaghetti sauce, right? You put your peanut butter on a piece of bread, okay? Fold that over, make like a fold over sandwich or whatever, and you just dip it in the spaghetti sauce and eat it. That's it. It's simple. It's fucking delicious. That is all. Carry on.
I don't like spaghetti sauce, so
Hey, fair enough. If that's not your thing, I'm not gonna. It's
I
whatever.
don't ketchup.
Oh yeah, which is probably why you like Big Mac sauce, because there's no ketchup in it.
True.
Yeah, little
I
fun
mean, I
fact for
don't like.
everybody.
So I don't have a disregard for ketchup. I'm not your normal American who has ketchup on everything.
Yeah, my
Like
dad
French
puts
fries,
ketchup on his pot roast. Like
yeah,
the
I
fuck?
prefer uh malt vinegar on French fries. I like brown mustard on most everything, not ketchup.
Same.
Uh, Ketchup on hot dogs, sin. Like,
Oh,
sorry, I know people out there that will fight about that, but
spicy
sin,
brown
period.
mustard, spicy brown mustard, jalapenos, onions, and cheese. That's what I put on my hot dogs. No ketchup. Doesn't eat it.
See,
Ketchup is
I
too
come from
tangy.
the chili dog world because that's kind of like our brand of hot dog up here.
Yep, fair enough.
So
I do have a can of
it's
hot dog chili in the pantry.
it's mustard, onions, cheese, and chili sauce. That's it. Yeah, it's a coney technically. Yeah,
Yep. Hi, wifey.
she's
I'm
sitting
assuming that's who
right
that
next to
is.
me. Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. Our computers actually sit right next to each other, so I'm sure that's half the reason I'm getting moved.
She's tired
Well,
of your
okay, so
body
like,
heat.
well, no, to like go back to almost all of the scenarios. One of the biggest things why my relationship has worked, why I do get the advantage of doing all these things, is we don't need to talk to each other. Like, funny enough, I have a ton of friends who are divorced or single or not
Sorry.
married, whatever that kind of scenario is for whatever that reason is.
Mm-hmm.
And tons of them have always asked, why do you two work? We don't need to be up each other's ass 24/7.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. Like it just is, yeah, you know. So take that as a thing, guys. When you're sending other to talk to you, it's not because they're not always mad, just because they're tired of talking.
Yeah. Hey, sometimes, just sometimes, maybe they don't. They just want to do their own thing.
Maybe when you've
Maybe.
been together for 20 years, there's just not a whole lot of extra things to tell each other.
Yeah. All right, so we are hitting the 50-minute mark here in about a minute or so. So I'm gonna jump over to Discord, see if anybody has any questions typed in here for you. Okay, so from Selena, who is also a cooking streamer, as someone who has done an 8-hour kitchen stream, how the actual bleep she actually typed out the bleep. Did you stream in the kitchen for 18 hours, you mad lad? Lots of breaks, squishy mat, you're blowing my mind, dude.
No, so no squishy mat, hardwood floors. Uh, I was in a lot better shape back then, and as long as I had someone to talk to and things to cook, I was actually fine. It was when I ran out of things to cook, because once again, I wasn't cooking things just to cook them. Like I was doing freezer bag meals and freezer prep and meal prep for the week and all that kind of stuff. So, like the first probably 14 hours, I was good. It was like the last four where I'm like trying to like, can we make some kind of crazy ass cookie or something like that? Like, what do I have here that I can keep going with? Because I was actually the whole time cooking ramen, and I was making a homemade broth, which takes, you know, 12 to 18 to 24 hours, depending on how you're cooking it. So
Yep.
that was one of the main reasons I even attempted to do the 24-hour stream. And don't get me wrong, afterwards, oh, that next day my legs were shot. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I
no.
I can imagine. Um, okay, and kind of actually exactly related to the kitchen streams, also from Selena. Any tips for cord control in the kitchen?
Well, one of the things about cord control, as far as like webcams or power strips, is permanence. Like, if you're going to be a regular cooking streamer, decide where you're going to put everything and then mount them. Like, I have all my strips or all my wires either ran through cabinets, like we ported holes through the cabinets and they're all ran around the back edge of the cabinets, or they ran underneath the cabinets and they all have connectors that mount them to the bottom of the cabinets. And then, believe it or not, I have everything fed into one control box. That all those cables run into the box, into USB adapter and the power supplies. That is mounted underneath one of the cabinets. It's completely waterproof. It holds everything, and then the major cord, which is sleeved and it has however many cords it has in it, is one major sleeve cord that runs to my actual computer. It's
Nice.
just about figuring out exactly where you want everything. Now, if you are a person who puts it up and puts it down, you just gonna have to deal with it. I've
Yeah.
been there, and it's just you got to do your best you can. Use put I mean, heck, you could put the mounting stuff still there, but just don't enclose it, right? Like what I use is just a little plastic C hook. It has a screw that puts the hook there, and technically you're supposed to screw both ends in, so it's there. Just don't put the other end in, and you can slide it in and take it out. Easy enough.
Yeah. I mean, that's part of the reason I stopped doing the pool streaming, the pool table. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Yeah,
like moving the computer from place to place. I just said screw it. I'm doing mobile streams. But
yeah,
if you want any sort of like consistency and like quality of stream, mobile streams are good for like temporary pop-ups, or if you're doing like IRL streams like out on the town, or like what I've been doing with my Riverside walks lately. Um, yeah, you're gonna need some sort of ability to get your computer from place to place. So yeah. Um, all right. So where do you see like your stream going? Like long term, let's say 2-3 years from now. Let's say you're consistently getting your cooking streams going. You know, do you have any like long term goals of like what you would like to achieve with your stream, or are you just kind of using it for fun and you just, hey, whatever happens happens?
well, okay, so easy. This is a very, very easy answer. Uh, though we had not discussed any of it, which is fine. My stream will be leading into my other channel. My stream will eventually die within the
Oh,
next year. It may be up every once in a while just for fun and stuff that I don't want on the other channel. But me and another streamer have put together another channel that is strictly a charity channel. We are creating a charity. We've already established names. We've done charity streams already. We've already done charity events. At the beginning of this next year, we will be filing for a 501c3.
oh
Uh,
wow.
like we are fully committing to being a charity group, and that's where streaming will lie for me in the future.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll definitely have to have you guys on here once you get that up and running. I definitely want to help you guys get the word out about that channel.
yeah. And no, that would be great. I'm sure he would also appreciate that. Yeah, we're doing our first non Ronald McDonald House stream this coming Saturday for Extra Life.
Is that going to be on your channel, the one you currently
Uh,
have, or the new one?
that'll be on the new one. Yeah.
Okay, what is the new one? I want to go ahead and give it a caster command.
The Culinary Caring Project.
Culinary what?
Caring Project.
Caring project. Any spaces or underscores?
Nope.
All right, culinary caring project. Isn't a streamer or doesn't exist.
It's because it's new. It's uh,
Okay, it does exist, but
it
since it
does.
hasn't streamed before,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's never technically streamed yet. No.
All right, I have popped that follow button, and I suggest everybody else does as well. Even if here's one thing, with regard to charity streams that I absolutely love that people can do, even if you're financially you can't support it, the fact that you can follow it and you can help promote it, like a retweet or repost, whatever, is free. A quick
Absolutely.
shout out on Instagram, whatever, it's free. Pop it a follow on the channel. You can turn the notifications off if you don't want to be bombarded with notifications. Pop a follow on the channel. If you have Prime, if you have Prime Gaming, a free subscription to the channel goes a long way to supporting the channel. So, like, definitely check out Culinary Caring Project. And while it still exists, please check out The Mind of Royce. Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, all of them are The Mind of Royce. And Royce, I appreciate you coming on, brother. We definitely need to. Well, I mean, we're going to be talking more because Royce was generous enough to actually get me Ark Survival Ascended. So we'll be getting some Ark streams coming in here pretty soon, and we'll be hanging out with Royce in the Discord, chatting with him and the guys, and whoever else is gonna be joining us. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Royce, it's
Yeah.
gonna be
Thank you
like
for
the
having
old
me, sir. I
days.
appreciate it. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. We'll definitely have to have you back on at some point for sure. Um, but yeah, I had something I was gonna say. Can't remember for the life of me what it was. My brain stopped. Yeah. For those of you that are new to the channel, if you are watching for the first time in this sort of dynamic, you enjoy it. I'm going to be doing it moving forward. I have one interview scheduled next week with Dark Zance, who is a dungeon master in D&D, and he's just an all-around great dude. And I have two more interviews coming up. And I'm just there's no NDAs, so I can say it. Screw it. Pine FM, aka Pineapples, aka Pine. If you guys have seen any of Pine's TikToks or YouTube shorts with Siri, Siri Yokai, the voice of Pine FM, 96.9 Pine FM. He's coming up, as well as the Llama Mama herself, Curvy Llama, will be on Pixel Profiles in the relatively near future. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely pop a like on the stream. Come back and hang out with us. If you're watching back on YouTube, like the video, hit the subscribe button. And yeah, Royce, one more time, thank you so much for being here, brother. I appreciate you. And I will see you soon.
All right. Love you guys. See you later.
See you later, everybody.